So this is Draw My Life. I got this idea from YouTube. I thought it would be really cool to do my senior project like this. So yeah, I was born in California in San Clemente on March 2nd of 1995, and that's me as a baby. I was born in San Clemente Hospital, and I had two brothers. My oldest brother is Eric Tapia, and he's 21. And my other brother is Jordy Tapia, and he is 20, and he was born March 4th. My little sister, named Kaori, was born February 14th of 1997, and when we first lived in California, we lived in San Clemente. It was really violent at the time. There was a lot of gang fights outside of the neighborhood, and it definitely was not as nice as how it is right now. We ended up moving to Mexico without my dad because he stayed in order to make money so we can live in a better house when we come back. But we ended up coming back within 3 months, and we moved into Santa Ana. We lived in a small shed outside of the house, and the owners of the house had a daughter. She was mentally ill, I think, and as well she was in a wheelchair. I don't remember what was wrong with her, but we helped take care of her a lot. And I'd never seen anyone in a wheelchair or disabled, so it was something different. And yeah, but she was really nice, and she was always really happy. In the shed that we lived in, it was really small. We could only fit in a television and a bunk bed, and we all lived in there, the 6 of us. We didn't have any money at the time, and that's why we lived in a shed. We ended up saving money, my parents, and they ended up getting an apartment in Mission Viejo, and that's when I first entered Cordillera Elementary School. On my first day of elementary school, I was really sad. I ended up crying a lot because I'd never left my mom's side. I was always with her, and something really interesting that I guess my mom tells me now is that I taught myself English. A lot of the English that I learned was from televisions, from Out of the Box and a lot of younger television shows. Well, that first day of kindergarten, I cried a lot, and I remember this girl came up and started talking to me, and she just was talking and talking that I became so distracted about my mom that she became my first friend, and we stopped being friends after junior high because she went to a different high school. Basketball had always been something that my parents and my family had always done together. I played in the Santa Ana League from kindergarten to 6th grade with my cousin, Genesis, and we worked really well together. We were like a power duo, and we were always on the same team, so the coaches knew that they would always put us together, and it was really fun. Those were good times. We ended up moving again, I think from 7th to 8th grade, I'm not sure. But this time, my parents, instead of showing love and stuff to each other, they ended up fighting a lot. They bickered, and they ended up getting a divorce, and that caused a lot of problems within the home. They bickered a lot, and they didn't have enough money for one of them to move out, so they still lived together. And my oldest brother handled the divorce differently. He would go out with his friends and just be gone for 3 days straight and not come home, and our family was kind of falling apart at this time. I remember on my 13th birthday, really excited because I wanted them to sing happy birthday to me, but that was not the case this time. They completely forgot about my birthday, my whole family, and that night I woke up to my dad screaming at my mom, and she was crying, and that was something really sad to see. My dad ended up leaving the house, and it was just my mother and my siblings and myself, and we ended up going to church for the first time ever. We weren't brought up in a Christian home. We didn't know about God or Jesus or anyone of a religious type. We kind of rejected it at first, but we started going to the services and conventions and camps and youth groups, and we really ended up liking it. My brother Eric and myself ended up getting baptized April 2008, and I think it was really cool to see the change in him from how he used to be with his friends, and he would leave the house, and now he was just really changing his life. So that was something really cool to see. Also at this time, my mom ended up dating a guy, James McPartland, and I remember we were really mad at him. We didn't like him at first. We weren't mad at him, but we didn't like him because we thought he was taking our dad's spot. and we would speak Spanish in front of him because he was American and we knew he didn't understand us. That was kind of mean, but we love him a lot right now. He's our stepdad at the moment, and they ended up getting married September 9th of 2009, and I think it was really sweet to see that because my mom finally had someone to help take care of us, and she loved him a lot, and it was just really nice to see her happy again because she hadn't been happy in a really long time. Also, we ended up moving to his house, my mother, my sister, and myself, and my brothers ended up staying at that old house with my dad. It was really sad because my brothers and I were really close and we had never been separated, and I cried a lot that day because I missed them. I ended up going to Jabico Hills High School because of the moving, and all my friends ended up going to El Toro, to Mission Viejo, which was where I was supposed to go before we moved, but I went to Jabuco and I didn't really know anyone. I just knew my cousin, and I was a bit of a loner the first couple of days. I didn't know anyone until basketball came. I signed up to play, and I knew some of the girls. I didn't really know them, but I'd seen them because I played in the SVUSD League, and I'd seen them around, so a lot of them were familiar faces, and we ended up becoming good friends, and I'm still friends with most of them. Sadly, I quit my sophomore year, the end of my sophomore year, because my sister would be an incoming freshman the next year, and I didn't want my mom to pay for both of us because it was really expensive. At this time of my life, I started really becoming like self-conscious about my body and my weight, and I weighed myself and I was really unhappy for where I was. So I ended up going on a strict diet and like working out, and the first like 30 pounds I lost really healthy, but then the last couple 10 pounds I did it in an unhealthy manner. I would like not eat or just eat like 200 calories or less, and I would weigh myself like 3 times a day, and people at church started noticing that I would lose it rapidly, so they started talking to me, and my mentor, one of my mentors that like I consider my big brother, like took away my scale, and him and his wife really helped me, and she struggled with like eating problems when she was younger, so they helped me get through that tough point. So I thank God for the people that He has put in my life. Junior year, I call it my healthy year because I ended up going healthy. I didn't struggle with that, like weighing myself and just not eating, and I took my SAT scores. I did my SAT and I did really well, and I got my driver's license as well. That summer, I ended up getting my first job at Wahoo's. It's kind of weird seeing people from school. It's kind of embarrassing, but a job's a job. Senior year finally came, and I was really excited, and I applied to my dream school, Azusa Pacific University, and I also got my car. I got a Honda CDR 2001. It has a 6 stereo system that my parents put in there for me, and I love them, and I love my car. It's really nice. I like it a lot. This year I got my acceptance letter to Azusa Pacific University. I was really excited because I got into my dream school, and I was so excited for the dorm life, for the college life, and just leaving home and just being away, just kind of, I guess, growing up. But sadly, I will not be going there next year because it was way too expensive for my parents. It is a private school, so I should have known better, but financial aid did not help that much, so I will be transferring hopefully there within 2 years from IVC, and I think things happen for a reason. I'm excited for the adventures that are to come through this little gap year that I have, and yeah, it's my life so far, so I hope you guys enjoyed.